Welcome to Eden Island Marina in the Seychelles. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Seychelles is an island archipelago consisting of about 115 islands way out in the Indian Ocean, somewhere between East Africa and India itself. Now, it is a granite archipelago, so you can see behind me here these wonderfully tall mountains covered in rainforests. But Seychelles is probably best known for its absolutely gorgeous beaches and reefs and swimming and snorkeling and diving. And today we have a very special opportunity to give you a little bit of a flavour of what that's all about, thanks to a very good friend of mine and a regular reader of Motorboat and Yachting magazine, who has very kindly offered to take us out on his boat and show us a little bit around the islands themselves and some of the swimming and snorkeling spots. Now, you can see it is an Axopar 28 cabin with a 300 horsepower Yamaha outboard on the back, and perfect for exploring the islands in and around Mahe itself. Now, we are on Mahe, that is the main central island, capital Victoria, and where you usually fly into. And the marina itself, Eden Island Marina, was built in the last sort of 10-15 years on recovered land out just outside the harbour, the main harbour of Victoria itself. And you can see it's full of all kinds of boats. It's also the base for the moorings charter fleet if ever you want to experience a little bit of what boating is like in the Seychelles for yourselves. It's also big on sport fishing. This is a typical sports fishing style boat. It's a cabo. You can see the big tuna tower up there. We've got some big super yachts down the end of this pontoon, and then lots of smaller privately owned boats and dive boats. You can see some classic little boats here. It's a Sea Fox, Yamaha outboards, Mercury outboards, a Rodman, sports fisher. It's all going on. But let's not waste any more time. Let's get on board the boat, get going, and I'll see if I can give you a proper flavour of what boating in the Seychelles is all about. Now, it is of course an absolutely glorious day, as it nearly always is. It's probably 32 degrees, very little breeze. You can see the granite mountains of the main island, very distinctive of the Seychelles. Beautiful, beautiful turquoise water. There's always some interesting boats in the marina here, and in front of us here is Energy Observer, so that's the old racing sailing catamaran that has now been converted into solar panels and hydrogen powered, and it's gradually cruising around the world and has made it out to the Seychelles. And then we have two identical Damon super yachts here, big explorer style support ships, and a number of super yachts, which, given the area we're in, is not entirely surprising. I can't think of anywhere nicer to own a super yacht. This here is a really lovely boat. It's an old classic called Charisma that used to belong to Richard Burton back in the day.
And the name is an amalgamation.
That's right. So the name of the
1906 Southampton.
1906 Southampton originally. And then she had an extra deck put on top, which I'm not entirely convinced improves her looks, but nevertheless still a very lovely classic. Is it a G.L. Watson design? I think it might have originally been. But very pretty classic yacht. Used to belong to Vijay Mallya for a while. And this is one of the many little islands. This is just off the main harbour. This is called Surf Island, and it's where Wilbur Smith used to own an estate or a house with this lovely little beach. But the whole of the Seychelles is full of these beautiful granite islands with these distinctive weathered cracked rocks. It looks absolutely stunning. And of course, when you're on board a boat, you have unparalleled access to the whole of the Seychelles. Really privileged. You can see just the surf breaking over the one of the reefs underneath. You can just see the waves breaking on it. But the water is absolutely stunning. And this is a beautiful little island called Beacon Island. And here you can really get a sense of those dramatic granite rock formations. Millions of years, the ocean just washing over them, smoothed them all off and left these great cracks and boulders. Absolutely stunning. And the snorkeling around here is magnificent. The water is so clean, and the fish down below swimming in and out. We'll see if we can get an opportunity at a later date, but just look at those rocks. Get some sense of the power of the ocean, just the swell gradually coming in. So beautiful. Just see the shapes of the rocks on the ocean floor. You've got that white sand and the darker patches of the granite boulders. Just spectacular. Everywhere you look, it's just absolutely stunning. I mean, you begin to run out of superlatives after a while. But you have to admit, the colours are pretty astonishing. Look how clear the water is there. Absolutely clear as a glass of gin. And you can see trees growing on little patches of soil on the island. It runs straight down into the ocean floor. Now you might think that you'd choose to have an open boat out here in the tropics, but to be honest, it gets so hot that you really need the shade and the sun, and even though it's not air conditioned, having somewhere that you can tuck away, because actually in the off season and the monsoon season it gets really rough. There's a big swell here. There's such a long fetch. We're thousands of miles from Africa and India, so we're right in the middle of the Indian Ocean, and there is very little shelter, so when you do get storms out at sea it does get quite swelly. But then in the doldrums between the seasons it's absolutely flat, calm and glorious. And really the biggest challenge is the sun, which obviously can cause havoc with boats and gel coats, so you really have to look after them. But when you do get out here, the reward is worth every penny. There we go, we're just setting the anchor in a little bay around the back of this very beautiful island. Look at the colour of the water there. Absolutely stunning. We're going to get the mast and snorkel out and have a bit of a swim through the coral reef. Right, I guess this is the time. Let's jump on in, see what there is to see. Well, we've just finished snorkeling around the boat, and even now you can see little schools of silverfish darting about on the surface. And this is very much what the whole Seychelles experience is all about. These magical waters, great clouds of fish swimming right in front of your mast. You can see the coral starting to regrow, and then this beautiful water and scenery all around us. Now, Axopar make a thing about their boats being adventure boats, and while this isn't the kind of high seas Arctic adventure or anything as daring as that, it is a really magical experience, and actually this boat is perfect for it. You've got the shade when you need it, you've got this lovely walk around decks, this aft deck, big outboard engine as reliable as you like, and you get there and back through the swell that sometimes builds up here. So it has been an absolutely magical day. I hope you've enjoyed watching a little bit, getting a flavour for what it's all about. But it's been an absolute pleasure to show you. So thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.